Hello everyone, I'm Johan Rodrik and today I'm showing and telling about my cut up sketch block or sketch pad or drawing pad that I cut up into individual artworks. Before it was like one spiral bound sketchbook, which was like containing all my drawings and I couldn't present them. And then I figured I'm going to do some remixes based on my digitalized drawings, which I will use these and I will make something else out of them, but I like them, so I figured maybe you like them too, and that's why I'm making this video about them. I will leave them in this form, so original drawings will be moved into my personal collection after the digitalization process is over, and then I'll bind them into display books and I can show display books to my studio visitors and friends and meetings in my studio. And yeah, these are held also here, so if I meet a friend and then I can show some new works. And these works in this video are all made in 2010, in the spring of 2010. And last time I showed some, and some of my artworks were signed with the 2% 2% symbol. Like, that was the joke of the year for my signatures. I realized somehow that it can be 010 after 2 can be written as a percent sign, so I as a joke I used it as a 2%, and I signed with my most used nickname Juku, which is my most used nickname, and some period I used it as an artist name, but at the moment I'm planning to stick with what my passport says, and I'm using my full name on anything and everything on everywhere. Yeah. It also took too much effort of explaining explaining the hassle every time when I had to explain my name if I used some cover, but I don't think I need any cover. And I have used my real name for many years now, and well, I was actually like younger and thought like, yeah, might be cool to have an artist name, but I figured, yeah, I'll drop that. Actually, how I got the inspiration for dropping my artist name was like when I heard the story of Trump Tower, and the story was nearby Tiffany, and the original name for Trump Tower was planned to be Tiffany Tower until somebody of Donald Trump's friends, or I don't know exactly who, I don't know the story that precisely, but Donald has told the story himself, and there was like somebody telling that literally something along the line that to Donald that if you change your name to Tiffany, you can name it Tiffany Tower, and thankfully he didn't, and now we have Trump Tower in New York, and that's how I figured that I'll drop any other names that ain't in my passport, because I'm not planning to change my name. And that's pretty much how I found no longer use for any artist's name. And people sometimes ask, do you have an artist name, or is that your artist name? And then I can say, yeah, it's my artist name, and my passport says the same thing. And yeah, but I have never quite told this story how I dropped my artist names, but I had a few other nicknames which I used them as well, but yeah, I figured I'll have more integrity and less explaining and more compact life if I stick to one package. And okay, but yeah, enough with that. This one in 2010, as I made those, I also made quite a few since 2008. I did some sketches and artworks with fairy subject, and then I used and experimented with the hornet kind of fairy, and I used this kind of bug wings sketch as a constructing a fairy, and I still do use fairy subjects. And at the moment I found one painting in my storage facility that I started in 2008, a fairy painting, and at the moment I'm continuing it. So it's not rare occurrence to me that I put one artwork into my storage and I will return to it. Well, it's when unfinished work I'll store up, and I'll return to it years later. And here, years later, I'm returning to my 2010s drawings to do something, some sort of a remix with them. And yeah, that was one. I have absolutely no idea what's coming out of this one, but I also made some truck sketches alongside fairy sketches and costume sketches and fashion inspired sketches. And I did this one. I have quite a few of truck artworks, and I don't know what the make-of model or this exactly is. Somebody may know cars better than me, but I sometimes draw the cars I like, and I especially like American cars, and the old American cars I like the most, and some newer ones too, but it's very selective. I mostly like SUV type cars and truck type cars, mostly American ones, and I like sports car type cars as well, and not only truck kind of cars, and some of those classic ones I have also taken into my drawings, and this is completely unfinished sketch. Looks very sketchy. Well, that's actually the idea of a sketchbook, to have sketchy drawings over there. And my favorite way of doing with felt tip pen, marker and ink pen at the time, and still is. I still do these drawings, and I think I'll continue with this one. Here's one with latex or leather costume inspired drawing, pin-up kind of something. Well, I don't actually do the classic sense of a pin-up, which vintage pin-ups look like, but I do something like I do. Sometimes I've called my style sometimes like an alternative realism or something like this, and pop surrealism is quite fitting as well. And also one of my fairy type sketches, and I pretty much like how it comes out. And yeah, at the moment I took out some bigger drawings that I have and made about like this. I was started painting them. I had something drawn for drawing, but they were unfinished, and I figured I'll finish these drawings as paintings, and I made a version of the same figure, and I made a completely uncolored black lined lady like that, and with a colorful version on the side. It's on my Instagram. I put progress pictures up as I made the paintings, but yeah, I'll make a video about them to explain this, which I did. But yeah, here I used one of my favorite butterfly wing for the fairy thing. And on to the next one. Yeah, one sketch of that as well. I pretty much like how this sketch came out. Doesn't need too much work. Maybe I can mix it together with some sort of a photograph or something. Probably will provide a superb material for remix of some sort. I don't know what kind of remix I'll make out of it, but something I will. Most definitely something I will. And one completely gray. Oh yeah, here's the signature of 2%. As I mentioned earlier, all these drawings here came out of the same drawing pad, and they were all done in the spring of 2010, where I in the end of winter before spring 2010 I invented this kind of 2% signature for the year 2010. So it's characteristic signature of mine in 2010. According here, it was a sketchy idea, but yeah. And oh yeah, that one definitely I'll work out to something. This is, oh sorry, knocked the camera. And is that better? No, maybe not. But yeah, that what I used is the figure and the same shaped silhouette, and I used the silhouette as an alternative kind of window that I didn't paint anything like the figure inside it. I painted something else inside it, like nature, where it is actually like a silhouette shaped hole in a wall that is presenting itself like a window. So here's the sketch like this, and I will use it as this subject as I'm getting this digitalized, I will make it happen, like use it as my silhouette shaped window as I've used in my earlier paintings when I started at making silhouettes and repeating the image as a silhouette and the image and the image and silhouette like this. So in 2008 I started doing this, and I still use the same method of double imaging like this to make a silhouette and not making inside what the silhouette really is. Like, yeah, in my paintings it is more apparent, but here in a drawing form it's not so obvious. But yeah, that's the last one for today, but I'm going to work something out of that. So hopefully I could illuminate you about my artworks and my methods, how I do and why I do something like this. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.